welcome back to Kevin Reviews. I just recently finished Annabelle Creation, and again, I don't have the DVD pick or show you, but I do have the disc, and I know you can see the reflection off the light there, but there it is. Um, this is directed by David F. Sandberg and also written by Gary Doberman, who returns to write Annabelle Creation. The cast we have is, I have to read this, Talitha Elena Bateman, Miranda Otto, Anthony Paglia, I think, Stephanie Sigmund, and Lulu Wilson. So this is, yeah, there's Tally. Always, you're so cute. I gotta do this. I'm sorry. Um, but in any case, we have the sequel to Annabelle, the first Annabelle, which was disappointing. And I remember the trailers looking good, especially the teaser trailer where we see the mother of this supposed child, and then we see it pan a little bit to the left, and we see the Annabelle doll. And then as the trailer goes, the child takes bones start cracking, like she's transforming into something more sinister and demonic. Um, so that I remember. Um, and it did get, and I do also remember it got a lot of praise. Um, and I have seen this before. I also want to mention that this is it's one of those probably rare moments where um, it's this film plus Annabelle, the first one, is very reminiscent or similar to say to another film kind of franchise called Ouija. There was both the original Annabelle and Ouija came out uh, in 2014, and both were not well received or pretty disappointing. But the sequels, or in this case prequels, um, did much better um, this time around, and it also has one of the child actresses, Lulu Wilson, in both the films. So it's just it's kind of interesting how similar those films came out around the same time. Though I believe this one, the Annabelle Creation, came out in 2016 versus Ouija Origin of Evil coming out in um, 2017, and both are directed and written by different people. But it's still interesting to kind of see that similarities happen within roughly the same year. So, yeah, I think I just thought it was interesting to kind of see that. I will say before I go into the review that you do need to see uh, the other Conjuring films. At least the first and second, and the first one and Annabelle. You don't need to see the Conjuring 2, though there is, a little nod to it in Conjuring 2, but it's not required. So, anyway, on to the review. So we have this in Annabelle Creation. Um, we have this basically we're focusing back on Annabelle, the Annabelle doll, but now it's how she was coming into being. Um, I can't really give much away, even if you have seen it. I'm sure you know. But for those who haven't seen it, I'll keep it very brief. But basically, what happens is it's 1955, about 12 years before the first Annabelle movie, and a a orphanage for girls is going to the house by the Muellers. I believe it's Muellers. Mullins. I'm sorry, Mullins. I had to look that up. Look the character name up. So Mullins. It's the Mullins family. There was a husband and wife there. So the so group. So you have the sister Sister Charlotte and a bunch of girls. The main girls that they focus on is a girl named Janice um, who has uh, a not so much an injury, but she contracted something that made her have a limp and to walk. I believe it was polio. But in any case, and then so that's the main focus is on Janice, played by Talitha Elena Bateman. I have to look that up again. I'm sorry. So now they're in the home with the Mullins, trying to get comfortable, but then weird things start happening, and we eventually they just one of the girls discovers that the Annabelle doll, and all basically all hell breaks loose. So, and that's pretty much the gist of the story. So, yeah, and again, I know I kind of maybe gave a little bit away, but I do want to focus on, because I think it's important I bring up like Janice, the character, because she's the main character, the main focus in the film. Um, so I will say that this is a big and very big improvement from the first Annabelle movie, and it focused more on the scares and atmosphere, the tension, the creepiness of it all. It's like getting under your skin. There's so many scares in this movie that makes you tense, and even when I saw this before, there was one moment I jumped. I still jump to it, and it's still effective. It's done well. It's creative how it does it. The lighting is also good. There is a mystery. There is kind of a mystery to it, but you kind of can piece it together a little bit, because I mean we already know much about the Annabelle doll from the Conjuring film and Annabelle. If you've seen Annabelle, that is. So it's um, it's something that you can maybe piece together pretty quickly, especially when it does have another opening involved that is the catalyst for the creation of Annabelle. Um, so, um, but yeah, there's quite a bit going on. Um, but yeah, there's a lot to like. All the actresses or the actors and actresses do very well with the roles. The kids are do also very well with what they're given. Talitha Bateman does a really fantastic job in her role, making feel for her. Um, you know, being constantly hounded by Annabelle, because she's kind of, again, she's the main focus. Um, Now, I will say that unlike I would unlike the first Annabelle and maybe the other two Conjurings films, this one doesn't really focus on character development that much. Now, that could be considered a bad thing, but I think because they don't want because it's I mean they're focusing on how it's Annabelle's created overall, and just focusing on these characters, I mean, are good ideas, but they want to focus more on the scares and make Annabelle scary again. And so in a way, it's a good thing, but I, at the same time, it's like I do kind of wish there was a little bit more, and there is more. There's still plenty of it. It's just not as explored, maybe not as deep. I'm sure that it does have moments. Um, but it just heavily relies on the scares and atmosphere, and that's what it does very well. So um, I'm trying to think of what else. It does good use of music. The sound design is fantastic. Um, the the look of we do get to see more of the demon, but actually a lot more sinister in playing with the light. It's actually a lot more even bloodier this time. Not severely bloody, but it's like it. There are moments that kind of makes you wince that it's happening. Um, and it's yeah, it's there's quite a lot to like about this. But again, if you're wanting like more character depth or more you know stuff going on regarding them, there you don't really have that much. And even there's the other girls in the film. Um, they kind of just the victims. There's not a ton to them though, other than some the older ones can be kind of cruel against the younger orphans. With Janice and Lulu Wilson plays another girl, Linda, which is Janice's best friend. Um, so and they're all hoping to get adopted. So that's their main thing. They want to get adopted. So um, but yeah, we see all this go down, and it's done very well. I don't have a ton to say about it. I just think it's done very well. It's done cleverly. It really puts the fear back into Annabelle, the Annabelle doll, like it should have in the first one. Um, so I'm glad that this was made, and e- so I think so. Yeah, it's likely going to be a little shorter review because I don't know. I guess because I'm watching the Conjuring films like back to back, like every week. It's like it's kind of hard to really like say anything new. That's different. That's different at least. And this one, you know, does pretty much go. Is very good. I would consider that probably my third favorite of the Conjuring film universe. So because it is very good. But again, I think again you don't. I think I wish there was a little bit more character development. More more time, maybe get more information about the some of the girls um, or the orphanage, the sister, the and whatnot. But I think it does what it does best and just focuses on the scares and the atmosphere, and that's what it does very well in. So in that case, I would give Annabelle Creation. Um, I'm debating whether 4 or 4.5. I think it. I think because of how it's done very well with the scares, I would give it 4.5. Probably 4 because once if you've seen it many times, the scares kind of not as much. But yeah, 4.5. But in any case, what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. Give a like or dislike on the review. Up to you. And feel free to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next review. Bye.